Hey guys, so we just recently did the free-to-play units kind of tier list. We ranked the top 10, and in that video, we got a comment asking for the top 10 just best overall units in the game. So I figured, sure, why not? Let's go ahead and rank the top 10 best units within Dokkan as of May 1st, 2024. We are in a new month, so it is a new month to be great, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope that we are all able to, succeed where we want to succeed and do all of the great things that we are trying to do. But with that being said, if you agree with today's list, let me know down below. And if you disagree with the list, also let me know down below so we can all kind of have discourse within the comments and all that stuff like that. But with these top 10s, I'm sure as most of you know at this point, you have to remember, obviously, this is my opinion. Doesn't really matter. And these are always subject to change. And you guys know at this point that within top 10s, they're always going to be changing based on the current state of the game and stuff like that. So that is where I have a lot of these characters. I think 1 is the only spot on this list that is not up for debate, but everything else I kind of like. And what we're going to be using for the most part as the Cell Max fight as the bar. I usually don't like to be that guy that uses one fight as a bar for a fight or for the, the top 10 list, but I do think in specific cases where, there are some points that are going to lean towards the Cell Max event being important, and there's going to be other things that we talk about where it's not as important. So, like I said, if you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave a like and all that fun stuff. Let's go ahead and get into the list. So, at number 10, I have the new Saiyan, well, not new, but Saiyan Day Vegeta. Now, this guy is extremely impressive. If we look right here, we have damage reduction, we have guard, we have HP buffs, all that fun stuff. This guy is just incredible. This guy essentially can just carry the Super Saiyan team, and he honestly kind of brought the Super Saiyan team up to a pretty high level over on the global side of things, which is pretty important. If we pull up the Super Saiyans team right here, you can see that there are a lot of characters on this list that are extremely good, and some 9th Annie killers, some 9th Annie big boy hitters right here with Gogeta and Broly. Spoiler alert, they are on the list. But with this Vegeta, I just think the Super Saiyans team, he kind of pieces it together, and you have that post 9th anniversary power creep that's really highly represented on here, as well as the beginning of the 9th anniversary, the Easy A's brought with the 9th anniversary, all that fun stuff. I think Vegeta is right at the spot. Now, 10, I think it's a good spot for him, and there are a couple TURs that are better than him. I don't think Toppo is going to crack this list, but I do think Toppo is extremely good. Let's go ahead and move on to number 9. I don't want to spend too much time per unit, so let's go ahead and move on to number 9. And that is LRAGL Broly. Now, I just recently did a video talking about how underrated this guy was, but I do think that the Golden Week units kind of pushed him down a little bit, because defensively he can get caught. That doesn't mean he's bad. It just means that I think the Golden Week units are a little bit better than this guy, unfortunately. Not on the attack terms side of things, but the defensive side of things, it's pretty crazy how good those units are, and especially in the Cell Max fight. This guy does have the perk of being type advantage defensively, but offensively, if you guys don't know, Cell Max has damage reduction against AGL units. But if we look at this right here, we're getting guards against all attacks, all that fun stuff. We're going to be stacking, we're going to be greatly stacking attack, and then just regularly stacking our attack on the 12 key, greatly stacking on the 18 key. We go into full power Broly mode, we get his domain, and then he's just doing crazy things, especially at the 100% level. You're seeing a 30 million attack stat super, and then you're seeing a 20 million AoE, a 20 million AoE, a 20 million AoE, and that's just pretty crazy. Now, I just don't think right now, within this grand scheme of things, that there are enough fights in the game that warrant there being an AoE that makes him even better, right? Because AoEs are obviously a nice perk to have, but unfortunately, if we just look at the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone, I believe it's stage 1 against Babidi's forces, those are going to be where you have a lot of AoE, the AoE stock goes up because, Broly is going to be attacking 2 enemies at a time until we get to the end where we are fighting Babidi and Buu, and that's where things do get a little bit dicey with this guy. But guaranteed additional on the 24 key. We're getting extra key per key sphere obtained, so super easy. It's not hard to get the 24 key with this guy. The big kind of hindrance on him, if we could pull this up here, I don't even think we need to pull it up. Where is it? Right here. We have damage reduction with the domain, but the issue with this guy, I'm sure as most of you know at this point, I believe it's, I'm trying to find the domain for you guys. Where is it? Right here. So transform for turns to generate the alternate dimension domain, and it's key to extreme class allies. The issue is the main team that you're running with this guy, you're going to be seeing him next to a lot of other characters that have domain effects as well. You think about on global, Rose Goku Black and Tech Fusion Zamasu. Those characters both have domains that can't interlap and overlap on each other, right? So you have to keep that in mind, that I think this guy is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but he does work on the Beast Gohan team, and spoiler alert, the Beast Gohan team is all over this list. So you do have to keep that in mind. I have Broly at 9. Let's go ahead and move into number 8, and that is I have the LR Gammas. Now, the LR Gammas I do not have, unfortunately. So My experience with them is not as high as some of these other characters, but what I do know is they have a standby that makes them super efficient defensively, and then you have this version right here of Gamma 1, which is going to be doing a guaranteed additional. He's doing crazy support. Like, I think it's this version right here, they also are giving crazy support to the team, so superheroes are getting category allies, like all of these right here are getting a key 3 attack and defense plus 50, so these guys are also going to be able to do pretty good damage, pretty good defense. They have a very nice standby effect, and they're also going to be making Beast Gohan look good. So on the superheroes team, I think this is a very ideal floater, and you could easily slot these guys into the top 10. I have them at 8, but really you can interchange them anywhere between like 6 to 10, I think. Anywhere you want to put them, I think is fine. So I don't want to talk about them too much, as I have not had the most time to use them on my account, but this is where I have them just in terms of being on the superhero team and being very good on the superhero team. So let's move on to number 7. At number 7 is LR Orange Piccolo. LR Orange Piccolo, I'll keep this brief. It's always going to be the same thing. As long as he's taking away the enemy super attack and isn't dying in literally one normal, he's always going to be on this list for me, because that orange mode is just way too overpowered, and I just don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. So this guy is always bare minimum going to be top 10. If you want to move him down to 10, I have no issue with that, but right now I'm going to have him at 7 because of what he does with taking away the enemy super attack in his giant form, and the way that he's also helping out Beast Gohan with the unit super attack. I'm sure you guys know where Beast Gohan is on this list, but let's just keep on moving. So at number 5, I've got Fat Boo, or Majin Buu Good. Now, Majin Buu, he would be higher on this list, I think. Like, I'd probably have him around like 2 to 4. But the big issue with Majin Buu, and why I have him at I believe we have him at number 6, is the fact that kind of one of the big hindrances of this unit is the fact that where is it right here? If revives with HP fully recovered when the character is KO'd once only. Now, I'm sure most of you know at this point that this is a big hindrance on the character, as if you've used LR Metal Cooler, you guys know what I'm talking about, especially in difficult content. This guy face tanks a super for, not even face tanks it, but eats a super for like 300k, 400k, and then maybe the enemy raises attack or lowers defense or something like that, and then leaves you with like 100,000 HP, and then does normals on another unit and takes you out, and you don't get the revive because it wasn't on physical or in Fat Buu or physical Metal Cooler. So that becomes a huge problem because of the fact that this guy has to be the one that takes the attack, and it's like, as great as that is, like the fact that he has a revival is obviously very clutch. This is one of those timeless mechanics that's always going to be helpful. But the problem is this guy defensively is such a monster, especially with stacking up in these longer form events and all this HP healing that he's doing. And then we have guard at the, guards all attacks when HP is 50% or more. There's a good chance he's going to have guard. It's very hard to take this unit down. So, like, when you think about LR Metal Cooler, at least he's easy to take down. So if you put him on the team solely for the revive, you are not going to be hard-pressed to get that revive. But with this Fat Buu, you will be hard-pressed to get the revive because of how tanky this guy is. This is a very hard unit to take out. Obviously, he's stacking defense on his super attack effects. After super especially, it is almost impossible to take this guy out. There's almost no boss in the game that can do it. So it can be very tricky, but I think this unit is phenomenal. Let's go ahead and move on to number 5, and that is LR Gogeta Blue. Now, LR Gogeta Blue, you might be wondering, hey, Cell Max, he does a lot. What gives? Here's what gives. He has a taunt. And if we go to Gogeta Blue, we do right here, temporarily massively raises attack and focuses all of the attacks to him, and then he dodges it. When we get this dodge out, or the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta out, he becomes a dodge or die unit, but he has a taunt that guarantees the dodges, and then we also, I believe it is a great chance, a 70% chance, and then we're also getting crit chance. So let's just say on the taunt turn, there's 5 attacks before he attacks. We have 100% chance to crit after we dodge 5 attacks with all those evaded attacks and stuff like that. You put him in slot 3, he's dodging 10 attacks. We're essentially having a guaranteed crit with attacks being effective against all types. We're an orb changer. We're getting additional ki. It's almost impossible not to get the 24 ki with this guy sometimes, especially when there's rainbow orb changers around. This guy just does it all, right? And when he's in base form, he has guard. He's going to be stacking defense on his 18 ki super attack, which is obviously nice and super easy to get, still effective against all types. Excuse me, the guard is for 3 turns, but when you get those 3 turns, by the time you get there, you're going to be able to transform into Gogeta Blue, which is obviously going to be super nice. And this guy is just all in all a solid unit. A little bit risky because of the dodge or die. He also has a blast counter super, which is a super sick animation, by the way. Kind of rare, but super sick. And especially in like the red zone boss rush against Broly, that he does end up countering that super attack. So that's why I have him at number 5. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4. And this one is specifically a Cell Max placement, and that is Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now, The more that I think about it, the more I kind of want to put him at 5 below Gogeta Blue, but you guys got to keep in mind that it is super, super difficult to mix TURs and LRs, but I'm just doing it for the sake of trying the video, and I want to see how you guys respond to it. But this guy essentially in Cell Max, when you have his intro buff active, which is not that hard to do, he is pretty much invincible. And that is why I have him over Gogeta Blue. It is going to be almost impossible for Cell Max to take this guy out. And then guess what? We get to the second, or we get to like turn 5 or whatever, when the damage reduction goes away. Guess what he can do? He can stun on his super. And guess what? Cell Max, after that 4 turns, or whenever we reach that certain HP threshold, guess what? He can be debuffed and he can be stun locked. So that is why I have this guy as high as I do. I think for the fact with how good this guy is against Cell Max, and honestly, it might be his SSR art that has him up here, but just like with everything that this guy is able to do defensively, with the damage reduction that he has, the crit chance that he has, he's able to stun, he's raising his attack and defense on super, we're getting damage reduction up to 90, and we're only losing it at a rate of 15%, so we're going to 75 to 60 to 45 and all that fun stuff. Just a super, super good unit. And I really just adore how well they handled this guy for a fight like Cell Max. I know on Global that is not the case yet, but on JP, I think Cell Max is one of the hardest boss fights in the game, and that is why I have this guy as high as I do. So let's go ahead and get into the big 3. And honestly, we could talk about 3 and 2 at the same time. And honestly, it's really going to apply. But that's Ultra Instinct Goku at 3 or 2B, and Evolution Blue Vegeta at 2A or just 2. Now, why do I like these guys so much? The turn 1, they are some of, like, Goku turn 1 might just be like outright the best unit in the game. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but you can't touch him. When he has his 24 key, he's ripping off like a 17, 18 million attack stat with a guaranteed crit. Any additionals that he does is a guaranteed crit as well. So it's like 18 million, 12 million, 13 million or whatever. And those are all going to be guaranteed crits, and you also cannot hit the guy. Evolution Blue Vegeta is going to be right there with the guard that he has. I think eventually he does lose that, but when after you revive, you're also going to have that turn of guard again, and then you're also going to have that turn again with revives, right? So moving forward after that, this UI Goku has a 77% chance to dodge with a 7% increase per dodge. So after 4 dodges, you are guaranteed to be dodging at that point, which is obviously nice. And he will sell you sometimes, but I believe that most of the time this guy is going to be just fine. His synergy on the Sun family team, or the Goku family team, the what's it called, the Kamehameha team, obviously the superheroes team, that is going to move him up a decent bit. And one thing I have to keep in mind with both these guys, I just like Evolution Blue Vegeta's defensive consistency a little bit more with the damage reduction over the dodge chance. That is the only reason I would have this guy at 2A over 2B. So that is why I have them where they are. The revivals are super nice, and those essentially you get another version of turn 1 after the revival. Let's move into number 1. We'll make this really quick because we're basically at the end of the video here. Beast Gohan, you guys knew who it was going to be. This guy is literally everything you want in an insane unit. We are going to be greatly stacking our attack on the 18 key. We're doing it on the unit super attack with an action break. We're raising our attack. We're raising our defense. We have damage reduction. We have guard. We have, we have support when you're giving allies 3 key after you get hit. We have a taunt, which redirects all the attacks to us. We're getting critical hits for 1 turn on this active skill. Solid link set, an amazing team to go with. Really nothing that I can say about this beast would, like, even all the highest praises that I could sing about this Beast Gohan would not be enough. They absolutely made like a 99% perfect unit with this Beast Gohan. The only things that can catch him are literally the hardest hitting supers in the game that you shouldn't be getting hit with anyway, because usually you can work around them. But even then, sometimes he impresses me with the tanking that he does. So Beast Gohan, just know that we are telling you to skip everything for this character for a very good reason. This guy is otherworldly good and is definitely, without a doubt, the #1 unit in the game right now. So if you're a global player, he comes out in the 3rd week of July, I believe. So there's your answer to that. But let me know down below what you guys think of this list. Before we go, we have to do member shoutouts, but don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one. For those of you who are sticking around and want to hear the member shoutouts, shout out to Macker, Static, White T Steve, Anto, Wet Towelettes, Blitz, Wanix, Joao, Shafted, Ashish, Scar, James, and Rao. Thank you guys for watching, and shout out to all the members. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you all again.